Hello and welcome. I hope that you are having a wonderful day today and are excited to be on the mat and working through this practice with me. Today we are going to work on a slow flow, but there's going to be a portion in the middle where we're going to have definitely some power elements to it. For this practice, you might want to have a block and a strap just available to you just in case you would like that as a modification. We're also going to be working on some planks. So if that is a challenge for your wrist, you can always go down to your forearms. So remember, modifications are absolutely important. Every body is different, and it's important for us to respect and honor our bodies. So with that in mind, thank you for coming to practice with me today. My goal is to help you find a self-care yoga practice to increase your physical health and well-being. So I hope that you will find a nugget of truth in that throughout this practice today. Let us begin by laying down on our mat just to find our center. If you would like to have your legs extended or your feet flat on the floor, find a position that's comfortable for you. And we'll be here for a few minutes, so I encourage you to make sure that you're comfortable. I encourage you to free your mind of any of the thoughts or clutter that have accumulated for today. We have plenty of time outside of our mat to think and ponder about all the things that we have on our agenda. I encourage you to take this time to free your mind of all of that clutter and focus in on your own practice and the self-care that you're giving to yourself. Let's close our eyes. Begin to recognize thoughts as they come into our mind. I encourage you to put them in a balloon and release them. You can always come back to them later. Let's begin to focus in on our breath. For this practice, let us focus on a nice, even breath. So an inhale to a count of 4, a hold or pause, and an exhale to a count of 4. Let us practice that together. So inhale, pause, exhale, pause, inhale, pause, and exhale, pause. Continue to focus on your breathing. As you close your eyes, relax, allow your mind to free all of your thoughts and just focus on your mat. And when you're ready, roll to your right side. Using your left hand, press yourself up to a seated position. Wonderful. Let's begin by warming up our body. So extend your right leg out to the side. We're going to hinge at our waist, folding over our leg. If you can reach your foot, fantastic. If not, that's okay. Go ahead and grab a hold of your ankle or lay your hands on your shins. Our goal is to just stretch and lengthen on both our leg and our back. In this pose, I'm feeling the stretch on my inner thigh and along my lower back. You might be feeling the stretch in another place, and that's perfectly fine. However, at any point in time, you're in a yoga pose and it becomes uncomfortable, you feel any stabbing pain, you should always back off the intensity, or you can completely come out of that yoga pose. Slowly using your hands, press yourself back up. Let's bring that right foot in and extend the left foot out. Doing the same thing, hinging at our waist, folding over our left leg. If you can reach your foot, if not, your ankle or your shin. And press yourself back up. I hope that feels good. Now we're going into a spinal twist. So there's a few different ways that you can do this. With our legs already extended out in front of us, let's bend our left knee, cross it over our right leg. We're going to take our right hand, place it behind us. We're going to take our left hand. We can either wrap it around our knee. We can take our elbow and place it in the inside of our knee, or we can just kind of grab a hold of it and we can just twist in. Whatever modification you would like to use, find what works best for you. We're keeping our spine nice and straight, our crown reaching up towards the sky. We're not trying to muscle into this. We're not really trying to wring out our spine or anything like that. This is just nice and gentle. Slowly release and come back to center. Extend that left leg out in front of you. Bend the right knee, cross it over the left leg. And we're taking our right arm, and whatever modification you used the last time, we're going to use on this side as well. So I used a straight extended arm, and I'm taking my left hand and I'm placing it behind me. Again, I'm keeping my spine nice and straight. And slowly come back to center. Extend that right leg out in front of you. For our next one, you might want a block. So we're moving into hero, and if this bothers your knees, if you have anything going on with your knees, you might find this uncomfortable. But for hero, we're going to bend at our knees and we're going to take our feet back behind us. So we're going like this. But if this is uncomfortable for you, you can always take a block and put it underneath your seat to give yourself a little bit of height so that it's not as strenuous on your knees. But if at any point in time this becomes uncomfortable for you, you can always come out of this pose. Our spine is nice and straight, and we're working on those even inhales and exhales. Wonderful. Now slowly press yourself up and begin to rotate out of the pose. We're going to come onto our hands and knees. The next one that we're going to do is a moon squat. Now this is going to start generating some heat in your body. Now at any point in time, if a pose becomes too much, you can always bring yourself back down to the mat and recapture that even breath. So for the moon squat, we are on the balls of our feet. We have our feet about hip width distance apart, and we are going to rise up. Nice big inhale and come down. Exhale. Rise for an inhale and down. Exhale. Let's do that again. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Let's do a few more. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise. And exhale, lower. Perfect. Now, inhale one more time. And we're coming to standing. Now, our next move, we're going to be working on working up and working into our back. So we're going to be standing at the front of our mat. We're going to have our hands clasped behind our back, whatever hand position is most comfortable for you. If it's interlaced together, stacked on top of each other, holding at the wrist, whatever's comfortable, it's absolutely fine. We're standing with our feet about hip width distance apart. We have a little bend in our knees. And what we're going to do is we're going to fold at the waist, round forward, and extend our arms out behind us. And then we're going to rise. We're going to move with our breath. So we're going to inhale as we rise and exhale as we lower. So find your hand position and exhale, rounding forward. Inhale back up. Press those shoulder blades together. Exhale down. Inhale back up. Exhale down. Inhale back up. Exhale down. Inhale back up. And exhale down. Inhale back up. Wonderful. Now we're moving into Goddess. So we're going to widen our stance on the mat. And what we're going to do is we're going to sink our seat down towards the mat. So you might want your toes pointed out just a little bit. We're going to take our arms out to the side, goalpost or cactus, and we're going to lower our seat down to the mat. We're going to do this a few times, and we're going to hold at the bottom a little bit longer each time. So hold and press back up, lower down, hold, and press back up. You're doing great. Lower down, hold, press back up, and one more. Lower down, hold, keep holding, and press back up. Woo. You can go ahead and lower your arms. All right, so that was our warm-up. I hope you're starting to feel a little warm, because now we're moving into the power section. So in this section, we will have planks. So remember, if it becomes too strenuous on your wrists, you can always move down to your forearms. Yoga is about finding something that is accessible for you and your body. So we're moving to the front of our mat. We're going to step our left foot back. We've got it about 30 degrees. We're not completely pointing it towards the left or the long edge of our mat. Kind of at an angle. You might want a little bit wider of a stance here. We're going to bend into our front knee. We want to make sure that we can still see our toes over our knee. If you need to adjust, you absolutely can. We're going to take our hips and we're turning them towards the short edge of our mat. So take your hands on your hips, make sure those hip bones are pointing forward. If you need to adjust that back foot a little bit, go ahead and rotate it. There's nothing wrong with that. Find what works best in your body. So we're bending into that front knee, checking to make sure we can see our toes. Our hip bones are pointing forward. We're inhaling our arms up overhead. We're going to drop our left arm and slide it down our left leg as we bend backwards. Rise back up. Drop your right elbow on top of your right knee and extend your left arm overhead so that it's touching your ear. Next, we're going to rotate at our hips and drop both hands onto the mat. Step your right foot back to meet your left, and we're now in plank. For plank, we're looking for a long, straight line from the crown of your head down to your feet. We're not looking for our seat to be up, and we're not looking for our seat to be down. Nice, straight, strong line. From here, we're transferring our weight to our right hand. We're rotating our feet to the side, and we're going to lift our left arm into the air. Drop your left arm down to the mat, rotating your feet. From here, press your seat up and back for down dog. And just take a second and pedal out your legs. From here, walk yourself to the front of your mat in a forward fold. Let's hang here for a minute and ragdoll. So grabbing a hold of your elbows, and let's just sway. Reverse swan dive, taking your hands up overhead, meeting together, and bring them down through heart center. Wonderful, you did great. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to turn towards this end of my mat so that you can see me on this side. So we're at the front of our mat. This time we're going to step our right leg back. Remember, we've got our toes pointing not completely at a 45-degree angle, so they're not directly at the long edge of our mat. Find what's comfortable for you and your body. We're bending into this front knee, and we're making sure that we can see our toes. If you need to widen your stance, do so. Make sure that you feel strong and stable in whatever position you pick. From here, make sure that you grab a hold of those hip bones, turn them so that they're pointing towards the short edge of your mat. We're inhaling our arms up overhead. This time we're dropping our right arm down our right leg, sliding it down and bending backwards. Here, return back to center. Drop that left elbow to your knee. Extend your right arm overhead, touching your ear. Cartwheel your hands down to the mat, framing your foot, rotating your back foot onto the ball. We're going to take our left foot to the back of our mat, coming into plank. Remember, we're looking for a long, straight line from the crown of our head down to our feet. From here, rotate your feet, and we're placing our weight onto our left arm. Drop your right hand to the mat, rotate onto the balls of your feet. Press your seat up and back for down dog. Pedal your feet out. And come to walk to the front of your mat in a forward fold. Reverse swan dive, your arms up overhead, palms together, and down through heart center. Fantastic, you did great. All right, so we did one full round on both sides, and we're going to go back through and do that again. So I'm going to switch back sides on my mat again, but you can stay exactly where you're at. So we're taking our left leg back. Find where your foot feels comfortable. Hip bones towards the short edge of your mat. Bend into that front leg. Check to make sure that you can see your toes. If not, adjust accordingly. Inhale those arms up overhead. Drop your left arm, slide it down your leg. And we're doing a mini back bend. Come back up to center. Drop your right elbow to your right knee. Extend that left arm up overhead, touching your ear. Cartwheel your hands down to the mat. Turn onto the ball of your foot. Take your right foot to the back of your mat and come into plank. From here, transfer your weight to your right hand and rotate onto the sides of your feet, extending your left arm into the air. Drop the left arm to the mat, rotate onto the balls of your feet, come back into plank, and press up into down dog. Pedal your feet out. Slowly make your way to the front of your mat. Fold forward. Reverse swan dive, your arms up overhead, palms together, and down through heart center. You are doing great. All right, so we have the other side to do. Are you ready? Okay, so we're going to step our right leg back, bending into that left front knee, checking that we can see our toes. Hips are forward. Arms up overhead. Drop your left arm or your right arm and slide it down your right leg. Come back to center. Drop the left elbow to your knee. Extend your right arm up overhead so that it's touching your ear. Cartwheel your hands down to the mat. Rotate onto the ball of your foot and take your left foot to the back of your mat. Coming into plank. Transferring your weight to your left hand, rotating onto the sides of your feet. Extend your right arm overhead. Lower your right arm down to the mat. Rotate onto the ball of your feet into plank. Press your seat up and back for down dog and pedal out your feet. Slowly make your way to the front of your mat in a forward fold. Reverse swan dive your arms up overhead, palms together, and down through heart center. Oh, you've done fantastic with that whole sequence. I'm very pleased with how well you're doing. Now, we're going to take ourselves down to the mat for the rest of our practice. So go ahead and lower yourself down. And we're coming down to our hands and knees. So we're in table, and for table, we want our wrists directly underneath our shoulders and our knees directly underneath our hips. We're going to raise our right arm and our left leg, and then we're going to alternate. So right arm, left leg, bring those in, left arm, right leg, bring those in. Let's go back to the right arm, left leg, and lower down. Left arm, right leg, and lower back down. This time we're going to step it up. So right arm, left leg. Let's do some pulses in that left leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and lower back down. Left arm, right leg. Let's do some pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and lower back down. We're going to do this one more time. Right arm, left leg, pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, lower back down. And left arm, right leg, pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and lower back down. Go ahead and press yourself up. And for our next one, it's half monkey or half splits. If you want a little bit of support here, you might want to take it. You can always use a bolster or a block. So what we're going to do is we're taking our right leg, we're extending it out in front of us. Our heel is on the floor, and we're going to sit back. We're looking for a stretch here in our leg. If you want a block or a little bit of stability, you can always have that block to give you a little bit more. You'll notice that I have my foot flexed, so my toes are pointing towards my face. And my hand is here for support. I'm not actually pushing down on myself. I could take this hand and move it anywhere. Go ahead and rise out of your left leg. Bring your right leg back, and we're going to extend our left leg out in front of us. Doing the same thing that we did the last time. You can always move the block to the other side if you wish. So I'm just sitting back down towards my right leg, pretending like there's an invisible seat behind me. I'm feeling a stretch here in my hamstrings. Slowly press yourself back up, and we're going to bring our left leg back in. And we're going to bring ourselves down to a nice seated position. For this, we're going to extend our legs out in front of us. We're just looking for a nice release here. So we're going to be hinging at our waist, folding forward. If you can reach your feet, fantastic. If not, your ankles or your shins are great too. Whatever you can do is part of your practice. It's all about growth and development. Never feel bad that someone in a video is doing something that you can't. We're all at different places. We all have different bodies. As you're continuing to breathe, see if on each of your exhales you can fold a little bit deeper, melt a little bit more into that pose. Allow your body to release. Slowly begin using your hands, walking yourself up to a seated position. Now, for the rest of this practice, we're going to be lying down. So if you would like to have something to support your neck, please feel free to grab a blanket and support your head if that's something that is part of your practice. We're going to be doing the reclined bound angle. So this is going to be where we're going to take our knees nice and wide, very similar to a butterfly, but we're going to be lying down. So if you like to have blocks to support your knees in butterfly, you might want to go ahead and grab a hold of your blocks. If not, you might want to just take the release of allowing your knees to fall wide. I'm going to grab my blanket to support my head. So lower yourself down to your mat. We have our knees together and our feet are flat on the floor. With your heels together, drop your knees out wide. If this becomes uncomfortable for you, you can always take your block and support your legs. We're going to be here for a few minutes. Find what works for you and find a position that makes you comfortable. Slowly, using your hands, press your legs back up and bring your legs together. You can have your feet on the floor, or if you're more comfortable, you can extend them out in front of you. We're moving on to hand to big toe.
Now, I can't reach, but that's okay. I have a strap. If you have a strap, use it if it's accessible to you. If not a strap, a belt. Anything that will allow you to extend the length of your arms. So for this, I'm going to wrap the strap around my foot. I'm extending my legs straight, and I'm going to pull my toes towards my face. If you want to extend your leg out to the floor, you can. Or if you prefer, and it's more comfortable for your lower back, you can always have your foot flat on the floor. Find a position on your strap that's comfortable for you, and we're pulling our toes towards our face. And let's drop our right foot down towards our mat, still holding on to our strap to give our legs support. We're trying to keep our left hip from rolling up off the mat. So try and press that left hip back down to the mat. Using your strap, pull your right leg back up, bending at your knee, lower it down, release the strap from around your foot, and transfer it to your left foot. We're going to do the same thing on the left side. So we're pulling our left feet, or our left leg, our toes towards our face. Lower your left foot down towards the mat, working to keep that right hip from rolling up off of the mat. Using your arms, strength, return your left leg up to center, bending at your knee, lower your foot down, and release the strap. I'm placing the strap to the side as we move into our next pose. With our feet on the mat, take your feet the width of the mat. We're going to take our knees and drop them towards the left side of our mat. Return your legs back to center. Take a moment to roll out your lower back, just swaying back side to side. And now we're going to drop our knees to the right side of the mat. Slowly begin to bring your knees back to center. Take a moment here if you'd like some movement to massage out your lower back. You can always bring your knees into your chest and roll out your lower back. Lower your feet back down to the mat. And if you have a block, grab a hold of your block. If you have a bolster, or if you have a blanket, any of these items will work. We're moving into supported fish. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our block and we're going to place it underneath us around our shoulder blade area to give us some support and allow our shoulders to fall away so that we can open up the muscles across our chest. So if you have a block, a blanket, bolster, anything will work for this. I also like to have a blanket to support my head. Put yourself where you think you're going to be comfortable, and then you can always adjust. So we're looking to place the block underneath our and around our shoulder blades, underneath our chest, to allow our shoulders to fall away and down towards the earth. We're extending our legs out in front of us. If this is too intense, you can always place
your feet flat on the floor. When you're ready, roll to your right side off of whatever prop you are using. From here, press yourself up, remove whatever prop you are using, and set yourself up for Shavasana. Shavasana is our last pose. It's also known as corpse pose. The whole meaning behind it is it's allowing you to leave behind those stresses that you had coming into your practice. And as we rise up from our practice, we become renewed and refreshed and reinvigorated with the energy that we developed while we were doing our practice today. So as we go into Shavasana, find something that is comfortable for you, and we'll meet back together in a few minutes. Begin to release and relax your brow.
drop your tongue away from the roof of your mouth. Allow your jaw to hang heavy. Allow your chest and shoulders to press into the earth. Take a nice deep exhale and out all of the negativity. As we're in Shavasana, I encourage you to think of each breath you take as renewing and refreshing, so that as you awake, you will feel refreshed and reinvigorated to tackle any tasks that you have today. Slowly begin to bring your awareness back into the room. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Do a good morning stretch with your arms up overhead. Take one final inhale and exhale, feeling reinvigorated for the rest of the day ahead.
And when you're ready, roll to your right side and press yourself up with your left arm to a comfortable seated position. Let's inhale our arms together, up overhead, palms together, down through heart center. If you like this video and want to see more, please like, comment, and share. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel to receive notifications when a new video is posted. Thank you for practicing with me today, and let me leave you with this thought. Life is better when you're laughing. Namaste.